Hey, Cowboys Nation, welcome back to the channel. Now, if you're a true fan of America's team, you're gonna want to stay tuned, because today, we're diving deep into some words that just might spark some fire in you. We've got the legendary Emmitt Smith sending out a major warning to Cowboys fans, and trust me, what he has to say is important. We're talking about the criticism, the expectations, and the undeniable pressure that comes with wearing that star on your helmet. So grab your favorite drink, hit that like button, and let's get into it. Alright, so Emmitt Smith is making waves right now, and he's got a message that every Dallas Cowboys fan needs to hear. First off, let me tell you, this man is done with the constant chatter about the Cowboys' 29-year drought. You know, the whole "you haven't been to the NFC Championship game since the 90s" conversation? Yeah, he's sick of it. And frankly, I think a lot of us are too. But here's the thing, he's not just venting. He's calling out the fans, the media, and everyone else who's been hating on the Cowboys for too long. It's time for a change, and Emmitt is here to set things straight. Let's be real for a second. We've all seen it. Cowboys fans constantly getting roasted by other fan bases. And for what? Because of the drought? Because of those playoff failures? Well, Emmitt says it's high time we stop letting others infiltrate our psyche and drag down the pride of wearing that star. Whether it's other fan bases like the Eagles fans, who love to chirp "Go Birds" every chance they get, or even the so-called Cowboys media, who seem more interested in tearing down the team than building it up, Emmitt is done with it. We've allowed all this noise to get into our heads, and it's time to shut it out. Here's the thing. When you wear the star, you're not just wearing a logo. You're carrying a legacy. And Emmitt Smith, one of the greatest to ever do it, wants us to remember that. He's all about bringing that pride back to the Cowboys Nation, but in a way that makes sense for the future. What does that mean? It means looking at the glass half full, not half empty. We've got to start seeing the potential in our team and focusing on the future, not dwelling on the past. It's about shifting our mindset to one of strength, pride, and a belief that, yeah, we've got what it takes to get back to the top. And Emmitt makes a powerful point here. Why do we, as Cowboys fans, let others dictate how we feel about our own team? Why do we let them dictate how we should view our chances of winning? He says we've been letting other organizations, and even some voices within our own fanbase, undermine the value of the Cowboys. We've been allowing this criticism to seep into our collective mindset, and that's got to stop. It's time for us to rise above it, not let it define us. We've got a legacy of greatness, and it's time we embrace it again, fully. Think about it, how many times have we watched the Cowboys go into the playoffs, only to come up short? The 2014 season with the infamous Dez Bryant catch that wasn't, the heartbreaking Tony Romo fumble at the snap in Seattle, or more recently, the lost opportunities where we've been right on the cusp of greatness. Those moments sting, no doubt. But Emmitt's point is clear, the Cowboys are not a team that should be stuck in mediocrity. We should be contending for NFC championships, and even Super Bowls, at least once a decade. That's the standard for a blue-chip franchise like the Cowboys. We should be fighting for a deep playoff run every decade, without question. But here's the kicker, it's not just about getting there. It's about getting over the hump and back to winning it all. And that's where we've fallen short. Now, we know the Cowboys have had their chances. Emmitt himself talks about those missed opportunities, like when we had teams that looked capable of making a real run. Whether it was a questionable call or a lack of execution at the wrong time, there have been too many instances where the Cowboys were just a few plays away from greatness. But here's the truth, those moments are gone, and we can't keep living in them. It's time to stop being content with almost and start demanding more from this team, both from the players and from ourselves as fans. Emmitt's not just talking about the team, though. He's also talking about the mentality we, as fans, need to adopt. And listen to this is where Emmitt's message really hits home. He says that if you're going to be a Dallas Cowboy, you better know what you're signing up for. This isn't just any team. This is the Dallas Cowboys, a franchise with more history and more pressure than most other teams can even imagine. When you walk onto that field, you're not just representing the team, you're representing a legacy of greatness. From Roger Staubach to Tom Landry, from Drew Pearson to Ed Too Tall Jones, the Cowboys have a rich history that demands respect. And here's the part that got me hyped. Emmitt says that if a player doesn't come into the Cowboys organization with that mindset, if they don't understand the weight of wearing that star, then they're simply not the right player for the team. It's not enough to just be talented. You've got to embrace the pressure, the history, and the expectations that come with being a Cowboy. If you don't, you're not cut out for it. And that's the bottom line. If you're going to play for the Dallas Cowboys, you better be ready to chase greatness every single day. This is the mentality that Emmitt Smith has, and it's the mentality we should all have as fans. We should be looking for players who are not only physically talented but mentally prepared to handle the pressure that comes with the job. You want to be a part of the Dallas Cowboys? Then you've got to be ready to take on the world. No excuses. No looking for shortcuts. You've got to put in the work, both on and off the field, and prove that you're worthy of that star on your helmet. Simple as that. Now, here's something that Emmitt touches on that I think is crucial for us as fans to understand. There's been a lot of talk about certain players not putting in the necessary work. Take Mazi Smith, for example. Emmitt believes that some players don't have the right mindset. They're not mentally tough enough to handle the weight of the Cowboys' legacy. And that's where the real work needs to be done, not just on the field, but in the mind. If you're not mentally prepared to play for the Cowboys, you're not going to make it. Simple as that. But it's not all doom and gloom. Emmitt's message is one of hope and inspiration. He's not saying that we're doomed or that things will never get better. He's saying that it's time to change the narrative. It's time for us to stop feeling sorry for ourselves and to start holding ourselves accountable as fans. We've been through the lows, we've been through the disappointments, but it's time for us to rise again. We need to make sure that our home field advantage means something again. We need to make it so that when other teams come into AT&T Stadium, they know they're in for a fight. We need to make sure that opposing fans don't feel comfortable taking over our stadium. We've got to bring back the fear factor, and it starts with us, the fans. And listen, I get it. We're frustrated. We're tired of the jokes, the slights, and the constant reminders of our past failures. But here's the thing, we can't let that frustration cloud our judgment. We can't let it take away from the fact that we still have one of the most storied franchises in NFL history. We can't let it take away from the fact that the Dallas Cowboys are still capable of greatness. And most importantly, we can't let it make us forget that no one is bigger than the star. Emmitt said it best: no matter what happens, no one is bigger than the Dallas Cowboys. We, as fans, need to remember that and hold the team to a higher standard. So, let's get out of this rut. Let's stop with the constant negativity and start demanding more from our team. It's time to show the world that we're not just a team that's living in the past, we're a team that's ready to return to glory. We've got the talent, we've got the history, and now it's time for us to step up and prove that we can live up to the expectations. The time for feeling sorry for ourselves is over. The time for letting other teams mock us is over. Let's get back to being the Dallas Cowboys, the team that everyone else fears. The team that holds itself to the highest standard. The team that, no matter what, wears that star with pride. And hey, if you're with me on this, hit that like button and share this video. Let's get this message out there, Cowboys Nation. It's time to rise again. And as always, keep it locked here for more Dallas Cowboys content. Until next time, let's go Cowboys!